'cause there's nowhere.
You have tuned into Breaking the Mask of Depression with your host, Diva with Depression.
Just waiting back.
Hey guys, welcome to Breaking the Mask of Depression with me, your host, the Diva with Depression. So, I told you last week I dropped the bomb in the bag that I am recovering from everything that one person can handle at one time between the sinus infection and my gallbladder trying to take me out. I am still healing, but I'm doing better. And I have a great guest today. And the funny thing is y'all know how kooky I am. Is that I recorded this interview for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and then lost it. And she was so gracious enough to come back. So we listen. No more small talk today. We're going to get to this beautiful guest, and she's over there on that Rolex app. And that's how I found her. I found her and started following her for the bipolar was in her name. And then I got hooked because she had the funky earrings every time she recorded. And you know me and my quirky stuff. So, but she's not bipolar anymore. So, Miss Diagnosed, welcome.
Thank you. And today my earrings are Donald Duck.
Oh my God, I love Donald Duck. Wow.
I like him because he don't wear pants. He's business up top, party at the bottom is what he is. He's ready. Okay.
Listen, party at the bottom is my thing. How are you today?
I am absolutely fabulous. Thank you. And yeah, no more bipolarism. But not because, no one prayed it away. It wasn't anything to that effect. What happened is that I was misdiagnosed at the beginning of the pandemic in 2019, going into 2020. I was free falling into depression. And I had several visits with a therapist and then a prescribing clinician and physician, and took all these tests. And the end result was you're bipolar with PTSD and general anxiety disorder, as well as manic depressive episodes. And all of this, the way that they described it didn't feel like me, but at the same time, I could see where they would get to this. And then the medication journey began. The Great Migration is what I like to call it.
Goodness.
They swabbed the inside of my mouth and sent it off somewhere. And then a couple of weeks later, I got the results in the mail, and it was 3 different tabs. The first tab says, if you take these medications, they will not be effective. The middle tab said, there's a 50-50 chance that if you take these medications, they'll be effective. And then the third and final tab said, these are the ones that are Johnny on the spot going to be effective. And so then started the big 3. They said that I needed an antidepressant, an antipsychotic, and a mood stabilizer. And so it was mix and match as to which one of those things was going to go best with the other thing in order to maintain my sanity, basically. And I was married at the time to a lovely woman who took the trip with me and was as responsible as I was with these things. I would take these medications and she would write down, oh, she woke up at 8 this morning. She yelled at me and went back to bed immediately. She got back up at noon and was able to eat something and yelled at me and went right back to bed. So she had this journal, this notebook that when we went back to the physicians, she would read it off day by day or let them look at it and see what it was. And they'd say, let's tweak your meds a little bit. This isn't where we want you to be. And so every time I would go back to the doctor, she would tag along with this notebook that she had kept about how I was doing and what I was doing.
That's so
And we,
awesome.
yeah, and we finally got to a place where we felt like it was manageable. It wasn't great, but it was manageable. And anytime I would be on these meds for months at a time, and then it was no longer manageable. So I would go back to the doctor and they'd say, okay, let's take it up a notch, or let's add some extra in, let's sprinkle something else into the mix. And because these people, my degree is in accounting, what do I know? I trust y'all.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Stupid girl. And I was just like, okay, let's do it, let's get it. And we did this for 3.5, almost 4 years. And I tell people this now, but there was not a day that went by that at some point in the day I didn't think about ending it all. And I would never say that out loud to anyone, because then I'm automatically going to have to do my 72. And I
Right.
don't, I've already done my 72. I've already been
Yeah.
IVC'd. I've already done all that. I did not enjoy it. I didn't want to do it. So I would play the game. And do you feel like hurting yourself or others?
Oh
No.
no.
Do you,
No. I'm
never
fine.
that.
Oh, what you
What?
talking about?
Not me, not a whole me.
Exactly.
Lies. It was all lies. And it would not matter. And again, my wife at the time was amazing. We traveled a lot because, as Hove says, Hove was willing to change, the weather for his girl. And so was my wife. She said, oh, you don't like it here? Let's see what it's like in Paris. Oh, you don't like it here? Let's see what it's like in Panama. And it did not matter where we went or where she took me. I
Yes.
woke up every day and at some point in that day would think, oh, if I kill myself in Panama, she's going to have to fly my body back. And that
Right.
sounds like a hassle. If
Yeah.
I off myself in Greece, maybe I'll get, a few, maybe they'll just catch me on fire. It was wild.
Yeah.
I'm at the top of the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, at the Eiffel. And I'm thinking, this would probably be the most traumatic way to do it. So I won't do it here. Or there are kids here and I don't want to traumatize children. I'd be driving down the road and be like, oh, I don't want to put anybody in my karmic BS. So I'll just stay here on this side of the living.
And people
And
have no idea that we can think like that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like they have no idea. They think that, oh, people just decide that they're going to end it and they do the do. They have no idea that we have like scrolls and scrolls and scrolls of things that we think of and write down. And, it's not just the action that we take. No
no,
idea.
right. We like, it is, especially those of us that have children. You never, and I'm gonna blanket statement it, because I believe this. You never want to be, um what the legacy of trauma bring to your kids. Like
Exactly.
my kids, their mom is a little left of center to begin with, so they're already struggling with that. To have to, bury me before my time at my own hands, for them to think, oh, this trick is selfish, like she didn't even want to see it through for us. And I feel like I was a teenage mom, and I, feel like the very least I could do was stick around,
Right.
and, kind of undo the family trauma, or at least address it. But people just think that, oh, you went all these places and saw all these things. Your life is so fill in the blank. And two things can be true at once. I can have gone to all these places and been grateful for the trip and still tried to figure out how to off myself on said trip.
Right.
Those two things can be true at once. Um, and so I finally had, was experiencing, we're 3.5 years in, and I am still exhibiting risky behaviors. I'm still doing things that this medicine, if this was my diagnosis, should definitely have curtailed. I was in corporate America for like 15 years. I was an accountant. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I hated it. I couldn't do it anymore. And my spouse at the time was just like, I can only handle so much. And you being, if you quitting this job will alleviate some of any of this, then quit. Quit and figure it out. Quit and take a nap. Quit and do whatever. But she said, I can't handle you hating this job and us tweaking this medication. She said, I can't do it both. And I said, hey, that's fair, sis. And so I quit and I went and took a nap, and I took a nap for about a year. I seriously, I would, it was all she could do to get me out of bed. I wouldn't eat, or I would overeat. It was always one extreme to the next.
One of you.
I'm either not eating at all, or I'm eating everything in sight. I gained 45 pounds that first year, on the medicines, off the medicines, tweeting through it, eating everything. It was wild. And at the end of that, it's been about 6 months now. My risky behavior was such that um I my wife and I decided that we needed to go our separate ways. And that's just all there was to it. Together, we came together, and we could not again make our square fit in this circle. Um, and I started a new regiment, and moved to a different city. And in
Oh,
looking for a prescribing physician and a new therapist and blah, 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 I decided to close my gap. I decided to close the ring. And by closing the ring, everybody in my circle looked like me. My prescribing physician, my therapist, my general practitioner, everybody wanted two things. They were either brown or had a vagina.
that's what I'm
And
doing now.
yeah, and it made all the difference in the world. They got a hold of my records, and they got together on a group call with me, which I thought was amazing. That these women reached out to each other and set up this group call and said, hey, we want to see you in one of our offices, and then everybody else will be on the call. And I was like, oh, okay. And I go, and they say, now that we have you, now that we have our hands on you, we're not letting you go. And I had never had anybody, they hadn't even told me what was wrong yet. But in that moment, I knew I was safe. And they said, we're going to send you over to this center, because we don't think that you're bipolar. We've been over all of your records, and we're talking about from 2015 to now, since before the diagnosis to now. And we don't think that you're bipolar. We want to send you to this place, and they're going to do some testing. And we don't want to say, they were like, we're going to write it down on a sheet of paper what we think it is. And we're going to send you to this place. And then the place will give you the diagnosis, and then we'll see if we were right. And lo and behold, they had written down ADHD on this little sheet of paper. And then lo and behold, when I got the results back, I was absolutely ADHD is what it was. And they said, okay, whew, we feel so
Oh,
much better
wow.
now. They said, okay, now we're going to titrate you off this medicine. I said, no, you're not. And I quit cold turkey that day. I said, no, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it, sweetheart. I've got it. That day, I not only quit all of my meds cold turkey, I gave up alcohol, I gave up sweet tea, and I gave up meat. And I went into the worst set of withdrawals. You'd have thought I was doing heroin. And
I
by
can
you, I mean
imagine.
me. But if you, I mean me, it felt like, I've never done heroin, but I've seen enough movies to know that that's what this felt like, as what I have decided to myself, and it took 30 days, and I am lucky, honored, loved enough that I didn't have to do it by myself. I detoxed with my mother and my oldest child, with my progeny. I literally went to my kid's house and I said, "Hey, this is what's happening. And I don't want to do this anymore. And I don't know what it's going to look like. But," and they said, "I'll keep you safe." And that is exactly what they have done their entire life, parentizing your children one on one. And I went into their guest bedroom, and for the next 30 days was sick as a dog. Couldn't eat, throw up, cold sweats, night sweats, day sweats, uncontrolled crying. It just ran the gambit of things. And I knew that it would take 30 days. I'd done my research to get it 100% completely out of my system before I would let them start me on any other meds, because I wanted to be complete. I wanted a baseline.
Right.
And my mother would come through and try to get me to eat soup, and would sit with me, and she would watch TV while I slept, and just, "Hey girl, you okay?" type of situation. And then they reached out probably around day 28, when I was, coming through and had a doctor's appointment and was going to go in and do my thing, and reached out to my spouse and was just like, "Hey, I don't know if you know, but she's been detoxing for the last 30 days. She is no longer bipolar. This is what happened. And we wanted to let you know, you know, because I wasn't talking to anybody. I wasn't on social media. I literally dropped off the face of the earth for 30 days. And then when I came up for air, um, I then had to deal with all those emotions sober.
Yeah.
Um, I had to deal with the dissolution of my marriage, with leaving my home and my city and my dog. Um, not being, I'd built an entire, platform on, being bipolar, and that wasn't the case, or wasn't true. And I had to figure out what it was going to look like now, because a lot of my personality, a lot of what I did was wrapped up in the idea that I was bipolar, and that
Yeah.
I can be bipolar and still have a job, have a relationship, have a family, do the things. And the reality of it is that I don't know if I can do that or not, because I wasn't bipolar, and I was so high all the time off of these drugs that these people had given me, until, and I go back and look at some of my videos and I don't even recognize me.
Really?
Truly. I do
Wow.
not recognize that. I do not recognize that woman. I don't recognize her speech pattern. I don't recognize her cadence. I had gained so much weight, and I've always been big. Like, I'm a big girl. I'm a big girl to my thighs sturdy,
They ain't going nowhere. Yeah. Me
sturdy.
too.
Okay, and I've always been okay with that. But I had gotten so big, until I don't even look like myself. And I can honestly say now that I am more myself now than I've ever been in my entire life.
Oh, wow.
I am clear in my thoughts. I am concise in my actions. I'm also concise in my decisions, which is something that has always been difficult for me. I was one of those girls where you couldn't ask me what I wanted to eat, because if I have to make a decision, we just won't eat. I hated making a decision. I just could not wrap. Ask me what I want to eat now. I can tell you off bat, off dick. I got about three choices for you to choose from right now. Period. And there's some things that in my detox that I didn't pick back up. I still don't drink. I don't eat meat anymore. I don't drink sweet tea. And there are things that I gave up in that season that I just didn't pick back up. Um, I personally don't think that I know sugar is super addictive, and that was always an issue for me. I love sweet tea. Okay, it's like crack. Okay, sweet tea from McDonald's. Oh my God, I
Oh,
will buy
listen.
buy half gallons. Okay, love to see me coming. Okay, and McDonald's love to see me coming because I am ordering a large sweet tea and a half gallon because I've drank half that 20 ounces, 32 ounces by the time I get to the house. So when I get to the house, I'm gonna need to pour me up some more. Sugar, oh my God, sugar is addictive. The alcohol, I just lost the taste for it. And the meat, um, I don't know. I'm be honest with you. I don't even remember why I decided to give it up. But I did, and then
Mhm.
once I did, 30 days after that, then they say it takes about 30 days to break a habit or make a
Like a
habit.
habit, yeah,
33 days.
yeah.
And so I made it to the 33rd day and I was just like, no, nah, I'm good on it. And since then, and I don't have any issue telling people, I was 384 pounds. I am 225 now.
Wow,
It's been six
that's
months.
awesome. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thank you.
that's an amazing story. That is an amazing story. I and two things, your care team. I just relocated, I think I told you. And so I've been putting off trying to find a new team, the doctors and all that stuff. I've been putting it off because it aggravates the hell out of me having to start all over again. But especially when it's the psychology part, because you have to get a new therapist. You got to tell your whole fucking life story all over again. And the psychiatrist, and then you got to tell the story all over again. And it just drives me absolutely nuts. And
Because those can be
also
stressors.
because, huh?
Those can be that because
Yeah,
having to tell it's stressful. They're a stressor. It's the fact that you now got to relive this thing that you thought you had put to bed, and now you've got, in order for them to understand where you're coming from, you gotta.
it's ridiculous. So just get her notes and just read it. And also because the last, I don't know, since 2019, I've had a Latina therapist.
Okay.
And I've had some great therapists in the past, but it was just so comforting that I was talking to somebody that can identify. And so I've been looking for the same what you said. Like I want somebody that looks like me. And I've been shocked that here in Florida, there are so many
Mm.
therapists and psychiatrists that look like me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I like people to understand that it is a tough thing to try to find a therapist. I talk about that a lot, a therapist and a psychiatrist. It is very, very hard, especially for us when we're in the crisis and we
Mm-hmm.
need someone. And how racist the medical field is, and how miserable it makes it for us, especially when we're in crisis.
Yeah,
I don't think people fully understand.
I do, and I really do believe that you've got to be in it to understand it. I'm a firm believer in that. My prescribing physician and my clinician that I had was an Indian man.
Oh,
So
don't even get me started.
there were
Don't
two
even.
Indian men that had told me that you're bipolar. And when my meds didn't work, it was a white man that said, let me tweak it. And it was just and they would be these 15-minute telehealth visits, and I was okay with the 15 minutes because I didn't want to talk to y'all no way, and so I can just be concise and I can say what I gotta say, and then y'all can pretend like you're listening but you're not, and then you can just pile on more meds until it was to the point where I was taking 6 to 7 meds a day. I have the meds that I take during the day and then the meds that I take at night. And oh my God, please don't mix these two up, because if I take my nighttime meds in the morning, it's a wrap for the rest of the day. Okay, your girl is asleep. Okay, this is over. And now I take Vyvanse for my ADHD, and I have something on hand in the event my anxiety flares up. But what I've learned is that ADHD looks like anxiety. It looks different in women, and it
Mhm.
looks different in Black women. And if you and it's wild to me, all the studies that they did about Black people, and come to determine that our pain tolerance was higher and our bone density was thicker and our skull, like y'all weren't doing the important, y'all weren't doing the real work. You weren't doing the important parts about how culturally you too busy worried about my birthing hips and not what's happening in my mind.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
and we So it was just, I was so irritated and so frustrated. And when I found out that I was not bipolar, that it was ADHD, I cried. I cried, and then I called little Miss Ao, and that's what I call my spouse. We're uncoupling. We're not uncoupled yet. And so it's weird for me to call them by their government because I'm probably never going to do that because I don't want to. So I called little Miss Ao, and then she cried. And wait, did I do that? Did you do that?
I think you did that.
How?
I don't know.
That was that was interesting. I like.
That
Do you
was
see me
cool.
moving my hands? Like,
That
wait,
was
was it
cool.
my hand
You're
moving?
magic.
I
You're
don't like
magic.
it. But I called and I told her, and she cried. And she was just like, Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry. She was just like, we were never going to win this race because we were running it backwards.
The wrong race. Yep. Yep.
And she was sad for me, but she was also sad for us. I was sad for me and for us because it's the because I feel robbed. I spent all this money going to see y'all, spent all this time, spent all this money on, because these medications are not free. And even
Not
with
at all.
insurance,
Exactly.
and then you got to fight with the insurance company to tell them that, hey, I really do need this. And you got to go back and forth. And then the doctor's got to chime in and say, no, she really, it's just the most. And so that conversation was, was gut wrenching. It was just as gut wrenching as the one we had when we decided to uncouple,
Right.
because we're now like, had we known, could it have looked different?
Could have had, yeah.
And so you don't want to get caught up in that because you'll drive yourself insane.
Yeah.
You got to believe that there's got to be, I personally, everybody has a, some people have a higher power. I do. I don't know if it's, I don't know what it looks like. I'm not a Bible thumper. I grew up in the church hard and heavy, and as an adult decided that I don't agree with a lot of this, and so it is what it is. And so when I get to praying, I'm not even sure who I'm praying to. I just know that there's a prayer. So I have to believe that this happened for a reason, or else I'll go insane,
Yeah. Yeah.
because the time lost, the money spent, the arguments had, it's just, it's, if I sit in it too long, then I'll want to catch the world on fire.
Yeah.
I'll want to burn it all down because it's just so much waste. And so I try not to live in that space.
Yeah. I think about that all the time, because people will be snarky sometimes. Well, when are you going to feel better? Well, when is this going to, and how long is this going to go on? I don't know how long it's
Trick,
going to go on.
trick, I
And
wish
do
I
you think
knew.
that I don't sit here and think about that? Like how long am I going to do this? Like how long am I going to be down in hell? How long have I wasted in hell? You think about that. I don't
This
know.
isn't fun, right? And just because, and this is the part, and I'll this kudos to Black women all around the world, and we have got to stop this. Just because we make it look easy doesn't mean it is.
Exactly.
Just because we're carrying it well doesn't mean we want to carry it. Don't Nobody signs up for this. No one is in line and is like, "Ooh, bipolar me, please." No one says that.
Not at
Mental
all.
illness me, please. I'm strong enough. I'll take some mental illness. No one says that. No one wants this. No one. And at some point in time, when my grandmother, God bless her, her name is Grand Barbara. She's the grandest of all the Barbaras. She's gone on to be with the Lord. Now, I believe in her Lord. I believe that she believed, and whatever she believed, that's exactly where she is, because this woman was faithful. Okay. Whatever she thought it looked like, I know it looked like that
It
for
looks
her.
like that, right?
But she told me one time, she said, "You can sit in the corner and go crazy if you want to. Don't nobody care but you." And never has there been a truer statement.
She's right.
She said,
She's right.
you can sit in the corner and go crazy if you want to. Don't nobody care but you. The world, she was like, the world is gonna keep keeping on. The world is gonna keep they gonna wake up in the morning, the sun is going to rise, the world is going to spin, and you still gonna be sitting in the corner. Put on your big girl draws and
And
make
keep
something
going.
shake. And I love and hate that ideology all at the same time, because there's a part of me that's sad that we don't get the luxury that we've got to get up and make something shake.
All the fucking time. All the time.
And I feel like we're the only race of women that have to do that.
Exactly. Exactly. I was just talking about that I was on a podcast last week or the week before last. And I said this, like I had a show called Death to the Superwoman because this is it. Like we can't keep working like this. We can't keep going because it's taken so much. It's killed us. The death certificate could say heart attack or whatever. No, it's the superwoman syndrome that we have to end it because look at us. Look at where we end up.
I read a book. I just finished it. It is called The Body Keeps Score.
I, I heard it. I think I have that in there somewhere. Never read it.
Okay. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a slow read at first. The first probably 4 or 5 chapters, I didn't care nothing about what this white man was saying. I didn't care about it, and I was tired of reading it. Okay, I didn't want to do it, but I'm one of those people that if I start the book, I've got to finish the book.
Yeah.
And then we got into the meat of it. We got into the parts where I feel like we show up. For example, what I learned in this book or from this book is that IBS is not a real thing. That is stress that has settled in your stomach. Fibromyalgia, same thing. It's stress that has settled in your nervous system. We are literally killing ourselves with I don't care if you call them triggers, stressors, whatever the case may be, the body is taking that energy and it's settling in particular parts of our body and taking us straight on up out of here. And I have an aunt that has fibromyalgia, and my mother-in-law has fibromyalgia. I've got, a cousin that has, and I know this to be the absolute truth by the fact that when I'm at my lowest, I cannot eat. I cannot make my body digest this food. And if I do, I can't make my body keep it in. I am the queen of waste your money, because you bought this food, I've ate it, and now I can't keep it down. And so when I was so look, me and little Miss AO used to have a running thing that if I threw up 20 minutes after, I had up to 20 minutes. If I could keep it down for 30 minutes, I was good. But anything below 30 minutes, I'd have to pay for that meal. She says, I'm tired of buying you food and you not being able to keep it down. But the reality of it is that I'd be so stressed and walking around with a knot in my neck over
Yeah.
whatever else may be going on around me. And my body is just like, okay, we'll settle this in your stomach. This stress, well, my back would go out religiously, because that is where the stress would settle. And I would go get massages, I would go float, I would do all of these things, when the reality of it is what I needed to do was get that stress up off me,
Yeah.
because, or
Yeah.
that trauma. But the body is keeping score. Like, in my mind can't fathom, so my body is taking control of it. And again, it took me about 8 chapters to get to what this man was trying to say. But once we got there, I said, okay, now we're talking. What do we do? How do I get this up off me? Because I don't like the way this makes me feel.
Yeah.
And again, even in reading the book, a lot of the studies that he did were on white women.
Of course. Of course. Of course.
So of course we know how Becky feeling. Like, ain't nobody asked Keisha how she feel.
Because we don't count.
Right. Because we still, the progeny said something to me about being 3/5 of a person. And I was like, I was a woman. I wasn't even 3/5. Like, I got nothing. Like, black men were 3/5. We were nothing. I got nothing, sis. Like, and some days I still feel that way, because I be talking and trying to explain. Well, previously, when I was trying to explain how I was feeling and what was going on, and lo and behold, I felt like the teachers in Charlie Brown, wah 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 wah
Mm-hmm.
wah wah wah, because no one listening, and we are dying because of it. And I just I don't know, y'all. I may never leave this group of women that are my prescribing physicians, clinicians, and therapists. I may never leave. I may have to follow them around for the rest of my life, because the change that has come is, it's like I can breathe again.
Wow. So do you think, well, I guess 2-part question. You said this before, but do you know what happened throughout your life that led you to having a mental illness? And the second part is that now that you know that ADHD is your thing, do you think that ADHD is not cured, but that whatever happened in life could have been solved if you were just diagnosed with ADHD?
So I'm gonna do it backwards. No, it could not have been
Okay.
solved.
Okay.
So and I'm gonna just, this is another thing that I go blah, blah, blah. Did I stroke out? Do I smell toast? No. Okay, I'm fine. So everyone, I'll blank out in a minute and be like, "Oh, was that a stroke?" And then I gotta do some quick evaluations to make sure. No, it's not a stroke. Okay, we're good. Um, I went to a trauma group where it's something that they did something that I had not had done by people I did not know, and that was they ran me my traumas. And so to hear someone else that was not present, because me and the kids every once in a while will run my traumas, but it's more in a joking manner. And I thought that because I could joke about it, that I was healed from it. And that's not how that works. That's not it. So a random woman that was in this group, so you write your traumas down and then you turn them in. It's a group, and then everybody picks a sheet of paper and as make sure that it's not your sheet of paper, and then they run your traumas. And so I was groomed from 16 to 18 by my oldest child's father. He was 22 when I was 16. And no, we weren't physical until I was 18, but he groomed me at 16, 17, and by 18 I was pregnant with by 17 I was pregnant with, with my oldest. uh so he groomed me, and then the boy's father beat me within an inch of my life. um and then so much so until I got pregnant a second time by him, but don't worry, he didn't want that baby. So him and his 17 size Tims stomped the baby directly out of me after pushing me down the stairs and breaking my collarbone. I have been kidnapped and beaten, pistol whipped. I have been homeless. I've been raped and assaulted, and I have been molested. And ADHD ain't got nothing to do with any of that. Nothing. It was just the luck of the draw, unfortunately, for me. And when this woman that I do not know was was reading through my traumas, and then she would get caught up when she got to kidnapped, she cried. And to have someone else cry over what has happened to you will make you see it differently. Because again, I didn't talk, the kids knew about it. I didn't talk about it for real, for real. We would make jokes about, how terrible their fathers were, and, and how Ahota is the girl's name that kidnapped me, and how that happened and took place, and joke about, well, at least she brought you back, blah, 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 blah. There are so many instances where I could have died. And I never looked at it that way. I just looked at it as something that happens. Everybody got their own whatever. This happens to be mine. And I can't do nothing about it but carry it. And I had to I had to grieve because there was some innocence lost. Um, there were some poor decisions that were made on my part that has nothing to do with ADHD, just happened to be young, dumb, and full of cum. And I didn't deserve any of that. And I didn't do anything to I should have been safe.
Yep.
Um, and so to have someone else run your traumas for you and then applaud you for still standing makes you look at your life differently. I no longer want to take myself out, because the reality of it is there were so many times when someone else could have taken me directly up off this earth, and I fought like hell to stay. For me to just wake up on a Tuesday haphazardly and decide, yeah, this the day. What'd you do all that fighting for? You could have just
Right.
let one of them do it if you was gonna do it. And that is exactly how I got to where I am, in that like a friend of mine said to me that, when you are in a room and the lights are off, that your eyes eventually adjust to the
The
light
darkness.
or
Yeah.
the lack of light. And what's happening is that you're the actual light. You're the light in the room. Your eyes are adjusting to you, to your presence. And I had to realize that mental illness or not, ADHD or not, PTSD or not, I'm the light. I'm the light in the room. A lot of people, it would have taken them directly up out of here. But like I said, I fought like hell to stay. And so I should make the most out of this staying. Um, and I tell people that knew me pre-diagnosis and post-diagnosis, you don't know me because I'm not the same person. And it's a little irritating because people will want to hold you pigeonholed to that thing, which is irritating because if I was trans, you would respect my pronouns.
Right.
But because you can't see, because the change isn't physical, it's mental,
Right.
you still want to hold me to that. And
Right.
that's not fair because that's not who I am any longer. And you don't know me. And if you like I would love for you to get to know me, but only if you can understand and respect that I'm not that same person, that
Yeah.
there's been a change. As the old folks say, there's been a change in me.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, but no,
It's a
ADHD
new
didn't have
house.
to do with my traumas. It's just luck of the draw, unfortunately, for me.
So are you liking your new, I call them the cocktail. That's what I call your med cocktail and your
I
new
do.
care team.
I love my care team. I cannot speak highly enough of them. I recommend them to everybody I come in contact with that's looking for assistance in this area. I'm a walking billboard for the you, honey. I would go door to door like the Mormons. Wait, maybe the Mormons don't go door to door. Who goes door to door? Jehovah
Jehovah
Witnesses.
Witness.
Girl, I would Jehovah Witness these women every opportunity I get. Anytime anybody ever asks me, I am so quick to tell them, do you have a prescribing physician? I've got one on speed dial. Do you have a GP? I've got a general practitioner. I've got one for a therapist. I've got you. I cannot, these women have changed my life in a way that I didn't even know possible. I didn't even know that it needed to be changed, but they did it, and they did it willingly and gracefully, and did not make me feel any type of way about it. Like, when I told them, no, I don't prescribe this medication because I'm not gonna take it. You're not gonna titrate me off this meds. I'm stopping this immediately. They were just like, this is so unhealthy. Please don't do that. And I said, you have said what you need to say to cover your behind. I'm not taking this medicine anymore. And so they would call me once a week to check and see how I was. And if I didn't answer the phone, then they would call the progeny. Just to, hey, we're calling to check on your mom. What's she looking like? Is she hydrated? Is she drinking? Uh, would have me go with, they would have the progeny come and do like a little pinch test to make sure my skin was, when they pinched me, it was going back to being pink. Like, I cannot tell you, these women above and beyond.
Wow.
And I just, yeah, sing their praises because I could still be walking around in a fog
Yeah.
fighting to try to make it look like it's supposed to, try to make that square block fit into a triangle at this point. And so I can't say enough good things about them. And so I have to know that my uncoupling, as sad as losing that part was,
Yeah.
I gained a whole me.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
and that's the way little Miss AO feels about it as well. That the fact that I'm mentally well, that when you love someone, you want nothing more than the
You want
best
the
for them.
best. Yes.
And our uncoupling is, I'm gonna have to say, it's probably the most adult thing I've ever done. I mean, don't tell it, but I'm pretty toxic. I mean, just it, okay.
I do
I
that. People ask me with my ex, like, "What, he's still alive? You didn't kill him yet?" No, I didn't. As I'm taking him to the doctor or out grocery shopping or whatever, it's like, no. After 30 years, it's like I might as well keep him around.
yeah,
He's my
see,
baby daddy.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I asked source. I asked my, higher be out. I was looking for closure. I'm looking to close some doors, and I don't believe in closure per se, but the progeny's father had a stroke and was on life support, and the progeny's the oldest. He's got 10 kids. The progeny's the oldest. I don't be understanding, especially after that third, fourth, fifth, 12th, sixth time. Like, who is still signing up this man? Like, what? Like, and one of his kids is like 10. And I'm like, the fuck? Who? What? Again, none of my business. But in that ICU room, when they called, everybody in, because the progeny is his oldest child, the progeny was in charge, and the progeny was just like, you're gonna have to get somebody else to do it. I don't know this man, for real, for real. But I had the opportunity to go in there and say everything I needed to say to him, and then about a week later he went on to meet his maker. That's none of my business. I got it off my chest. um the same with the chick that kidnapped me. I was in Charlotte a couple of weeks ago at a mixer for the gays, and I was there as a guest. And she walks in, and immediately that fight or flight kicked in, and mine was freeze. Fight, flight, or freeze. Mine was freeze, and I was frozen. And then I had to say to myself, "Oh, I'm safe. I'm safe. There's nothing in this room full of people she will be able to do to you. I'm
Do
safe."
right.
And she had the audacity to speak to me. And I was like, okay, well, you've spoken. So now you finna get all the things I've got to say to you that previous me wasn't strong enough to say, but this me will take you off this earth. I don't know why that girl was so timid over there. Old me was timid, and it didn't work out in our favor. New me will take you up out of here. You'll meet your maker today effing with me. But I got to say all the things that I needed to say. So that was one more thing off my bingo card. Like this 2025 bingo card, and I don't know if it's because the world is ending, and the seas are red and the planes are dropping out of the sky. Hey, I don't know what it is, but this 2025 apocalypse bingo card is
Listen,
really got me crossing some things off, and
listen, we got to do. Yeah.
I'm excited, and I'm excited about it. So, but I was able to say all the things that I needed to say, um, and uh, feel good about it and feel safe. And it was really good for my PTSD.
Yeah.
Um, and I hadn't had, an episode since then. So because
That's awesome.
I yeah, so I'm taking it as it comes.
I was looking today. I told you I was looking for a care team, and one of the ones that I had written down, she not specializes, but she administers the ADHD test. And I said that I'm going to look into that because I don't want a whole nother diagnosis because I have fibromyalgia too, and the chronic fatigue syndrome and all the others fun stuff. But I would like that test done. And both of well, I think my youngest has already had it because that's one of the medications that she takes for
Hmm.
ADHD. but my oldest doesn't. I don't think she's had it. So she scatters sometimes, and she's in school and she's working and all sorts of stuff, and so. But that's a test that I'm going to look into, and sort of I might even document the process if they
I
allow me
I'm
to.
just hold on one second, and I
Mhm.
kept mine. I kept mine because I reference it every once in a while. But when they called me back in for my results, so this is
Okay.
this is the first time I took the
Oh,
test.
okay.
So
Oh, wow.
this is what it looks like. Women between the ages of 30 and 60. This right
Oh,
here.
okay.
This is the baseline. All these
Hmm.
outliers are me.
Oh, wow.
This is what it looked like when I did mine.
So that's your brain function, sort of.
This is my brain function. This is my brain
Oh,
function right here.
holy shit!
Yeah,
Wow.
this is 3 months on meds.
Oh, wow. Stop,
The exact same test, 3 months on med. This is what it looked like.
guys. You can't see it. I know you can't see it, but uh, listen.
Yeah, it's insane. It is
Yeah,
it,
that
and
is
so
so
it
wild.
made a believer out of me. I'm from Missouri. I'm from the show me state. I'm not really, but it definitely made a believer out of me. And so the only thing I take is I take Vyvanse and annuity. And annuity is for my depression. I have something that I can take for anxiety if things get a little heightened, but I haven't had to take it. I haven't had to take it but once in the past 6 months. And it's a barbiturate. It is one of the Valium. That's it. So it's one of the fast acting ones. It's one when I am in crisis, and and that is the
Need
one.
something.
But I've only had to take it once or twice in the past 6 months, because my anxiety was just I was testing, um and I had a for the master's program. I had to take the LSATs, and my anxiety was just
Yeah, through the roof.
I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this.
Yeah,
Girl, you done pay for this test. Stop playing. And so I had to get to studying then. What is you talking about? Like, the
yeah.
plan is the plan. What are you doing? So, but so yeah, so I only take those two meds regularly. And
Vyvanse is my one of my daughters loves the Vyvanse. They wouldn't pay, it didn't pay cover the payment for me. So the first time I got it was like $75, and I really liked it. It is and I don't say that for many medications, but that one was really good.
yeah, it doesn't cover my insurance. My insurance that covers everything does not cover this Vyvanse. So I have to pay, it's like $93. But guess who pays
Yeah,
that $93 once? Me. It's a whole me. We'll pay it every
yeah,
single time because it's a stimulant and it's not long lasting. It's not long acting.
right.
And that's the thing I love about it. I get about a 10-hour window on it, and then after that it's out of my system, and I can sleep. It's on to the next thing, unlike the other meds where it's a prolonged
Okay.
lingering,
Yeah,
has to store up in my fat cells before I can. And so that's the thing that I do enjoy most about it, is that it is, you take it, you get, it does what it's supposed to do. It gets to the point, and then
yeah.
when it's done what it's got to do, it says, "All right, we out of here." And then that's that. And I love that.
I love that, and I'm so happy that you're in this place. And I'm still going to watch your TikToks or whatever. I never left. I never left.
Thank you.
I was so confused when I was like, bipolar base. She left. I don't get to see the earrings anymore, and your mom anymore. How's mom? Tell
Yeah,
her tell her some strange woman said hi.
I will certainly do that. She actually,
I love your mom's hair. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. I
thank you.
love
I
her.
will definitely tell her that she is always so self conscious about how big her hair is, and I say the bigger the better. Once
Listen,
she, yeah, I'm trying to convince her to lock it up. I think that she would have beautiful locks, but
yeah.
she is just like, that sounds like a whole lot of maintenance. And I said, I promise it's not. And I was like, I'll keep them up. She don't believe me, and that's fair. It's fair not to believe me because I'll say it. Then I be lying sometimes. I don't be wanting to do my hair. I don't be wanting to do my locks. Me doing someone else's. But I did convince the progeny. The progeny has locks because of me. I was on a journey that year. I started my lock journey. And so I tried to get as many people as I possibly could to join me on said journey. And the progeny was the only person that took the bait. But now theirs have dropped and are gorgeous. They have their hair is like cotton. It's such a uh,
So it
such a
locks.
s- yes, such a soft I love it. It's just very different than mine, because I have sister locks, and so mine I feel are kind of stringy
Oh,
and kind of
okay.
spacey when I get them done. But the
Hmm.
progenies are so full and beautiful, and I was trying to convince Queen Anne that hers would look like that too, and she's not having it. She says, "Nah, I'm good on it." But I will definitely let her know. She has pneumonia currently. Walking pneumonia is what they call it. And it's walking because she won't be still. It would be regular pneumonia if she just laid down.
Listen, tell mom that when my gallbladder tried to take me out 2 weeks ago, I went from urgent care to the emergency room to the regular hospital. And the ER scared the shit out of me because it was packed from 0 months babies to every kid in Jacksonville was in that emergency room gagging and barfing everywhere. And I was there for like 2 and 3 hours, and adults, everybody just coming through. The nurse was like, it's been like that. Like, I don't know. And even the nurse was like, they don't know what it is. It could
Yeah.
be RSV, it could be COVID, it could be bird flu, it could be the da 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 da. So
Yeah,
tell
we
mom she has to sit down.
you gotta sit down. Like we she was just like, "Can you come give me a COVID test?" And I said, "Yeah." So I put my mask on and went on over there, and she didn't have COVID. And um we thought it was the flu, but then she went to the doctor, and they're just like, "No, you got fluid in your lungs. This is definitely pneumonia, walking pneumonia." And they're like, "It's walking because you're still
He
up and
wants
moving
to sit down.
around." And my mom said, if I stop moving, I might, but so did they have to take your gallbladder out?
Girl, yeah.
Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Are you able to keep solid foods down yet? Or are you on crackers and apple juice as well?
You know, I got food. I've been eating a little bit here and there.
Okay.
But
Lucky
yeah,
you. It will take you out. You don't know what that pain is, and it will try to take you directly out of here. Okay, girl, I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna have to tell you off the air.
Okay.
Okay, so tell everybody where they can find you and
Okay,
stalk
so
you,
you can
give you
find
love,
me.
everything.
You can find me on TikTok at ms dot dy wait Dyagnosed. The same with Insta. I'm just my first and last name, Jolie Gilbert, on Facebook. And I and the missus wrote a book that you can find on Amazon. It's called Out of Season. And it is a poetry book sprinkled with coloring pages. And it is about what your love looks like when it's out of season. It is not lovey dovey. It's a real I hate you trick back and forth is what it is, but it's a good read. It's fun. And if you want to email me, it's my first name, not my last name, Gilbert at Gmail. I tell people all the time that I am around. I'm a very down to earth person. And if there's anything I could ever possibly do for anyone, hit me up. I'm around.
Hey, thank you for coming back and doing this. I'm not even going to hit any buttons, major buttons. As soon as we finish recording, I'm going to hit the right button. But thank you for doing this again. Guys, thank you for listening. You know that this is one of my longer episodes, but listen to it because Geraldine has a story. And you're going to be addicted like me, and you're going to be over there on the Rolex app trying to find her. So one final question, because of me and my dessert business. What's your favorite dessert?
A cheesecake, with hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. I don't even care what kind of cheesecake it is.
Awesome.
Cheesecake is the answer, always.
I have some in the refrigerator right now.
You see, it did not take me long. Okay, I will not be before you long. Cheesecake is the answer. Don't ever buy me a birthday cake. Always buy me cheesecake. Love it. It's my favorite.
Okay. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
And we will see you soon because you have to come back. You have to come back.
Okay. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Okay, guys, go divawithdepression.com. All the stuff is there. All the stuff is there. And you know, I'm on Instagram and the Rolex app and Threads. I can't keep track of all these social media things, but talk to you guys later. Stay peaceful. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you to Release for coming on Breaking the Mask of Depression. We had an amazing conversation. I'm going to put all of her information, as usual, on my website. I'm going to list the poetry book that she wrote, and I will put her TikTok information on. Please, please, please follow her because she shares so much information on her TikTok page and all of her information about her platform. So please, please, please go follow her. I hope that you guys enjoyed listening. Again, follow me, divawithdepression.com, and there you can find all of the prior recordings for Breaking the Mask of Depression and all the resources. Thank you, guys. Stay peaceful. Bye.
So